Hi peeps, so I'm following on from Keith's video about what he carries in his backpack or bergen. Yeah, as some of you will know, prior to my stroke I used to do a hell of a lot of tabbing around. The bergen would normally round about sort of £40 easily, yeah, but it was all filled with essential equipment, such as on the top of the bergen there you will find my hydration pack. So that gets filled with water, that goes inside the bergen, and I've got a pipe there that goes through on the shoulder strap so that I can get to it easily. I'm one of these, I hate having to stop and have to take my bergen off, get to a bottle of water. Yeah, if I'm tabbing and I need water, then I use the hydration pack. But as Keith said, once you finish with it, yeah, and you get back, empty it out, clean it, yeah, and then refill it before your next tab. I've got a little reflective seat. Nothing worse than you go and park your bum down and it's probably on some cold rock and suddenly you feel the cold coming through your backside. So I use that to just keep my body warm. Coming down, I've got a penknife and a sharpener, and you'll see another carabiner there. I've actually got two carabiners on my bergen on the outside that I can use at any time. A map on there. I've got also, let me just flip it over. There's a compass. Good old silver compass, you can't beat them. Yeah, but it means that I can navigate around any area that I'm in. At the moment, this has got a map in it for the bergens. I've also got one for when I did attempted to do the coast to coast walk, just August last year. I've also got a mileage marker, which has got also a compass on it, handy bit of kit. It means I can look at how much mileage I've done, or even when I'm planning, I can plan how much mileage I'm going to do between various routes. All-weather notebook, always good to have, and a pencil, yeah. There are times when you need to take some notes about things. First aid kit, quite an extensive first aid kit, the one I've got here. Like I say, I used to do a lot of tabbing prior to my stroke, and I wanted something that I could rely upon. And I must admit, it has been used, has been replenished in the years that I've used it. I've then got my waterproof clothing, tops and bottoms, yeah. And here I've actually got a lightweight windproof overtop, yeah, because especially during the summer, if you've been out tabbing and you suddenly stop and you're starting to feel a bit cold, I can whip this out the top of my bergen, yeah, and get myself sorted out. Set of gaiters. I always carry gaiters in my bergen because you never know what you're going to come across as you're out there tabbing around. Marshy areas, nothing worse than water getting in. Yeah, so I always carry a set of gaiters. Paracord. You cannot have enough paracord in my eyes. Yeah, it's so versatile and what you can use it for. Yeah, so I've got 2 reels of paracord that I carry in my bergen. And as Keith says, some of you may think that's a bit over the top, just wandering around, but I'm ready for all eventualities. Now, speaking about eventualities, I've got a nice lightweight sleeping bag. Now, just in Bradgate Park alone in Leicestershire, I have used this sleeping bag on 3 occasions. When I found someone injured in Bradgate Park, and we've had to wait for the emergency services to turn up with an ambulance, yeah, I've managed to get the casualty in the sleeping bag, keep him warm, keep him comfortable, yeah, before the ambulance arrives. Emergency shelter and an emergency blanket, yeah. These cost around about £1 from Poundland, yeah. Best £5 you're ever going to spend in your life. Yeah, again, kept in the top of my bergen where we can get to it easy. Yeah, not really for me to use for myself, yeah, but for use when I come across any other casualties. Head torch, obviously I'll go out tabbing at nights at times, yeah, so I've got a head torch. And due to the night time, I've also got a fluorescent jacket, because obviously if I'm tabbing around at night, especially on the country roads, I want to be seen. Power bank. Now this is quite a big power bank. It's virtually the size of a brick. It will actually charge my mobile phone and another mobile phone 6 times to full capacity. Yeah, I'll carry that everywhere I go. Set of binoculars. Like I say, I like to be out in the countryside. I like to see things. So I've got myself a small little set of binos. I always carry a bag of fruit and nut or nuts or some sort of sustenance that I can eat as I'm going around. Knife, fork, spoon, you never know when you're going to need it. And an old hexamine stove. Yeah, I don't use it for cooking. What I actually use it for, or I would use it for, is if I need to get a fire going, yeah, to get some heat. This flask affair is a thing called a Trex, mate. Yeah, and it's one of the best things I've ever bought. Now, it means that if I open it up, you get these heat pads. Yeah, and what you do is you can boil water, and I've actually boiled soup actually in there, and you get a little bottle to hold some water in to actually activate it. You pour the water into the, oh, let me get that out, inside of the cup there, yeah. You put your heat pad in, it gets activated, heats up immensely. You can probably boil water in the same time that it takes to boil a kettle. Spare set of gloves and a woolly hat. Those are housed in this waterproof container that goes in my bergen, and I cannot advocate these waterproof containers enough. You can buy them at Sports Direct, don't cost a lot. When I first joined the army, all we had was any old plastic bag we could find. But these things are brilliant bits of kit, yeah, and I strongly advise, if you are going to set yourself up with a little bergen to go out tabbing, yeah, purchase some of these. It keeps your kit dry inside your bergen. As you can see, I've got various sizes of them. That's the bigger one, yeah, for all the kit that goes into the main compartment of my bergen. So that's my equipment. Now, what I'll do is I will pack this, and then I'll show you roughly how much this weighs, including with the water in it. So bear with me. Okay, so my bergen is weighing around about 25 kilos. Now, like I say, before it used to weigh a hell of a lot more than it did there. One thing that I haven't shown you is what I carry on my shoulder pad. Let me just get into that. In here, I have got 2 survival whistles. I've got another silver compass. Yeah, and also in here, if I can just get it out. Oh. A fire starter. I've also got in here another maglite torch, yeah, and it's like Keith was saying, yeah, it's a case of what if? This is what people don't understand. What if this happens? And as happened to me during the coast to coast walk, 2 days in, I was 40 miles into the 192 miles. The weather had come in very terribly. It was the tail end of a hurricane. But the problem was, I then met up with 3 people that were out in the Lake District in the mountains, yeah, that had gone out there totally unprepared. They'd gone out for a little walk, yeah. As it was, I rescued them off the mountains. And it's like Keith was saying about the map and compass, yeah. My phone was dead. Due to the fact of the weather and how atrocious it was, my phone was of no use to me whatsoever. So I took a bearing from where I was to the point that I wanted to get to, yeah. Good old map and compass. It's never going to fail you, yeah. So please, yeah, if you're going out walking or tabbing on a long distance or in an area that you're uncertain of, yeah, I would strongly suggest you get some sort of navigation aid that isn't reliant upon batteries or anything like that. So that's my little bit of kit. Like I say, most of you will probably think that's a bit excessive, Nobby, just wondering where you go. But like I say, I've been out in Bradgate Park, which is on down the road from here, and I've had to use the sleeping bag on 3 occasions in the 20 years that I've been here. So I'm prepared for all eventualities. Yeah, and as Keith says, you know, don't want to carry any dead weight. Don't want to carry stuff that we don't need. Dumbbells, I see that all the time, or tins of beans. Yeah, why do you want to carry that sort of stuff? It doesn't do you any good. Yeah, you want to be carrying stuff that, if anything happens to you, is going to be useful to you. Dumbbells and tins of beans ain't going to help you at all. Well, I suppose the tins of beans will if you get into a survival situation. But hopefully you're not in that going to be in that sort of situation. So, again, if you're new to the channel, yeah, please consider subscribing. We're not telling you what to do. Yeah, you got your own mind. You do what you want. But please consider it. These channels, mine and Keith's, Letstab59, are growing immensely. Yeah, mine especially after Keith sort of promoted it. And I'm going to be doing more on tabbing, more on mental health, and again, my other loves, which is golf, yeah, and playing my guitar. This year, I've already sent my applications in, working with the DP World Tour on the golf events here in the UK. So look out for those. Look out for any that I send on the golf. I will give you some tips on etiquette and everything. But to all of you out there, the main thing is, in today's horrible world, let's be honest, it is a horrible world, yeah, please take care and stay safe. And as Keith says, let's tab.